Hey guys, and welcome to today's video about one of the most legendary RPGs ever created and one of the most famous franchises ever, the Fallout. The original Fallout, developed and published by Today's Gun Interplay, which was a company behind other famous RPG titles from the 90s, was released on 10th of October 1997. Fallout was heavily inspired by the 1950s and so-called golden era of science, which dominated society and culture, which you can see in the game, and diverges from real history since in-game late 1940s. The game is set in the year 2161 in California of the United States, after the world was destroyed by nuclear war, an event that happened on 23rd of October 2077 after the decades of escalating war between the United States and China. In the threat of nuclear devastation, all across the United States were built massive underground shelters known as vaults, that were intended for the people to survive if such a scenario would happen. When the air raid sirens went on that day, only a handful of people actually went to the vaults, thanks to the so-called cry wolf effect, because of many previous false alarms. Family of the character you play went into one of those vaults that day. A Vault 14 hidden in the mountains of California, and after decades sealed from the outer world, a world needs to be opened thanks to malfunction of one of its most critical parts, the water chip. A critical control computer chip of the water purification system of every vault, and without it, your world would be doomed. And as it is usual, somebody has to solve the situation, and therefore, for the first time in your life, you are sent outside the vault into the outer world to find a replacement for the water chip, armed only with a 10mm pistol and coordinates of another nearby vault. Fallout is an action RPG game with an isometric view, where you select one of 3 characters or create your own, female or male, and set age, name, attributes, perks and skills completely by your choice. Classic attributes like strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility and luck that each affect your gameplay. For example, with lower intelligence, you are given much less choices during the conversations with NPCs than with high intelligence, which sometimes could solve the situation without a fight or give you access to special areas. Strength, for example, affects how much stuff you can carry and a requirement to use heavy weapons like minigun, rocket launcher, or to wear advanced types of armor. Agility affects how many action points you can use in combat, and so on. Perks are offered 2 at the beginning and then every 3 levels, and further improves your character and gameplay with perks such as sharpshooter, more critical hits, or bonus range attack damage. Finally, there is also a variety of skills such as small guns, energy weapons, science, lockpicking, or speech that are on scale from 0 to 300. And with every level you achieve, you are given a certain number of points that you invest in these skills to improve them and also your gameplay. With, for example, speech gets you better chance to solve the situation in conversation, and small guns increases your accuracy and damage with these weapons. Variety of weapons is massive, with many different melee or range weapons at your disposal that helps you to overcome any situation. Weapons such as knives, spears, hammers, crowbars, pistols, shotguns, assault rifles, sniper rifles, heavy weapons like minigun or flamethrower, energy weapons like plasma rifle or laser minigun. You name it, we have it. This sounds like a paid advertisement, but it isn't. Combat is turn-based, where in each turn you have 1 to 10 action points based on your agility, and use them to move, attack, heal yourself, or in the worst case scenario, run from the combat if the enemy is too powerful. With the first steps outside the vault, you will quickly learn that the world has changed drastically and is treacherous and extremely dangerous place, with mutated animals or ruthless raiders not hesitating to attack you and kill you. However, there are also some safe places where law and society endured, as you find out in the settlements and towns built in the ruins of pre-war cities or built entirely new, with every materials people were able to find or salvage. You will also find the remains of United States Armed Forces after the government collapsed, forged a new and very powerful faction, with pre-war technologies and cutting-edge weapons at their disposal. Variety of enemies is pretty vast. On your way through the wasteland, you will encounter many enemies of different species. Animals like rats, mole rats, and rat scorpions that are, because of radiation, mutated to incredible sizes and frenzy. Other humans, whenever raiders attacking vendors and traders for loot and goods, or other criminals and characters of the underworld. With later steps throughout the game, you will encounter far more sinister enemies and also terrifying mutants, as the story and situation will become far more sinister and complicated. The map of California you can explore was pretty massive back then, and still is pretty vast even for today's standards. There are cities with multiple districts and other areas, underground caves, other vaults and military bases to explore, as well as open areas where you encounter random enemies and also special encounters that are also Easter eggs pointing to some real-world phenomenons. The map also simulates real landscapes and locations pretty accurate. Locations are set in real areas like Bakersfield, Mariposa or Los Angeles, and some are less and other are more touched by the events of the Great War. The game also features a vast number of quests, primary, secondary and hidden, to accomplish. To compare with Fallout 4, released in 2015, where you have 191 quests, here are 58 quests, which is a pretty decent number even for today, and in 97 it was a huge number for a game back then. In each area quests are different. In one city you will help to solve problems with local gang, and in another city you will rescue a kidnapped member of a powerful faction, which will reward you later with cutting-edge gear. All quests are unique and are tied to unique situations and locations. Also, you will have to scavenge areas for weapons, armor, medical equipment, resources and currencies to sell them in the cities or exchange them for better gear which is scarce and is needed to progress further. Therefore, you have to think carefully about what you will do with each item you get, not to regret it later. It is also a game that made a significant impact on how post-apocalyptic games will look like in the future. Walking through the wasteland of what used to be one of America's greatest states is incredibly atmospheric, and you will be intrigued to explore every inch and building you will come across. It is also a game that gave you something pretty rare back then, and that is freedom of what you will do next, an open world. It is up to you where you will go next and what will you do, and you are not bound to linear progress like you are, for example, in Diablo, which even though it is a great game, going from level to level is not so exciting as being in an open living world where your actions have consequences. This leads us to reputation and karma mechanics that based on your actions also affects gameplay. For example, if you kill innocent civilians, guards in certain cities will become hostile, attack you on sight, and you won't be able to finish anything there and move on. Therefore, the game feels much more realistic, as every action has consequences not only through the game but also in epilogue. Fallout recently turned 25 years old, but it is so unique and timeless, it makes it incredibly fun and exciting to play today. It is a unique example of how great and smooth gameplay, unique and evolving story, and open areas to explore are mixtured to create a game that is fun and you are bound to play it every few years again exactly because of these factors. Fallout is also one of the most famous gaming franchises ever, with multiple other games released in following decades. But not all of them are so much fun like Fallout 1 or even better Fallout 2 released 1 year later, which are total classics today and must play for the people that played the newer Fallout games like Fallout 3 or New Vegas. Fallout 1 is also a great game to start from scratch your Fallout journey to understand the story completely. Because in other Fallouts there are things and connections with other Fallout games, especially Fallout 1 and 2, and to understand them correctly, it is best to start all over again with the first Fallout, as even the story will get you a much deeper feeling and understanding. Fallout is often in sales on Good Old Games, where I recommend to buy it, and there are also fan community patches that enhance the game even further, with adding cut-off content or polishing some game mechanics. So, if you are looking for a great RPG that will get you, thanks to unique setting, evolving story and gameplay that is incredible fun, you have just found one. And as a bonus, you will see why there are some successful games today that are inspired by Fallout and want to offer the same unique experience as Fallout did back then. The game runs properly on today's operating systems, and the only thing you have to be careful is saving the game. Because as it is usual for the games that are decent and old, there is no autosave, but you will get quick used to it. So you just have to be careful not to lose few hours of progress only to be shot by a super mutant. Anyway, Fallout 1, which costs when not in sale $10, and when there are sales you will get it with 75% discount, therefore for $2.50, I guarantee you will get incredible game and have great time playing it today. And so this is it for today, guys. Thank you for watching, please leave a like and subscribe for more videos, and I'm looking forward to see you next time.